And next up, we have Jerry, the IGL and veteran of fours. I want to thank you so much for joining. I always appreciate your
I
time and your excellent interviews. So, Jerry, how you doing today, man?
uh, today I'm today I'm really good. I had some extra time to prepare for the game because there before we had practice and we started the day really early. But now we will just start at 6 p.m. So
Nice,
it's really good now.
perfect,
Some extra
awesome.
time.
Yeah. I mean, I want to kick off this interview by touching a little bit on the major run. I mean, I thought you guys were able to play, incredibly. I watched you all, take down my team in Liquid there over in NA with a great comeback, right? But obviously, you did run into some hurdles in FaZe, who was a playoff team, which understandable, and then Gamer Legion, who went on to be finalists there. So kind of a tough exit there, but as an IGL coming through, what would you say like your steps were in bringing the team back together after those results?
Let's talk a little bit about that major run really because actually, in my opinion, we in our ads we had everything to win. We had every tool we could have had to count to this tournament. Like we had it
Hmm.
in our hands, but the major problem for us was to use it and some psychology thing inside your heads because once you come into the tournament like that and someone saying this is the last case Counter-Strike Global Offensive
Yeah,
major, and for some people it might be pressure from even for me because you need to you realize that there is a big bat over here, like really big, and you had a lot of previous work, but in the same time you realize that it's not always on you. I mean, you can say something like we can relate that to Kedian. He had incredible speech before the,
yeah,
or let's say inside the legend stage. Even though I heard it from the online, I didn't hear it in live, and I was really I cheer up. Like
yeah.
he
Pumped
did
up.
some, yeah, pumped up. He did incredible work here. And back to your original question, I think it was all about to try because this roster, this current one, it was the first time on major. We had the pretty hard Airmar event. We should we beaten Aurora, who had Kenzie Norby, and
Yeah,
we had some disagreements with them before. Uh, yeah, that was really hard path for us as a team. We have 4 boot camps. We had some time to discuss some maps. We had everything, and in that veto against FaZe or even Gamer Legion, we had the maps we were working on. Like we had the tools, we had the preparation, but it was all in our hands, and suddenly we lost it. And I think in this roster that was the first big step because there before ESL Pro League, we were coming there as an underdogs and thinking like, let's just
yeah,
show the damage, the real one we can, and we showed that. But it's not enough to just show the damage. It's all about finishing your enemy. And we had really close scores against FaZe and Game Legion. It's 16-13 on the last map. We lost clutch on Inferno against
yeah.
Isaac. He actually after that he won the clutch against Heroic on 15-14 score
Oh
and
my gosh.
led his team to the victory on the second map against Heroic. That
Yeah,
gave them the advantage on the last map because that was really hard for Heroic to lose that second map. And there is so much happened. I mean, in
yeah,
this major, yeah, a lot of people say it's not like it's not it's not like it used to be, but I think all majors they just have their own energy, and you just need to separate it from each other. They will be not like that there before, like previous ones, and that's the charm of Counter Strike. It's it's the same all the time, but it's different all the time.
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, again, this is why I always appreciate your interviews. You always give such great answers and insight there. But yeah, I want to talk about coming in and one of the big factors here about the changing in the scenes of Counter Strike right now. I think a lot of chatter is on how many like officials a lot of these teams are playing, and I would include you all in that mix. You guys are always grinding. You guys are always playing officials, always getting into these CCT online
Yeah.
circuits. So. I want to talk a little bit about how that has helped you all as a team and how that has helped you bring in new players individually as well.
Let's say that each team who's playing online qualifiers, who's not getting directly invited, and who's always need to grind. I think those team they have more stamina. You know,
Yeah.
they have more stamina because they practice all the time. They playing some pre-prac before the game. They always a lot. I mean, I know a lot of players who's watching some analyst things, analyst statistics before the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that gives you a path to work. Like if you play against a good team who is already on such event as CCT, yeah, because to get invited there, you need to be on top of LTV rating, at least top 30, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to online qualify. So let's talk about these teams because we always were on the that level, let's say tier 3. Yeah, so once you come up there, you're facing a lot of opponents that is playing differently. Like for example, Portugal's guys from Seoul, they're playing their own Counter Strike, and for example Sprout now, who we're facing today, they're playing a little bit different. And once you come to the major or to the LAN, you have the same strategy before the game. You need to pre-prac and you need to some analyst. Plus, there is because of this LAN, you're able to go to the prac room and do it together like in boot camp. So that's the main difference. And let's say CCT events and much more like them, they're really helping team tier 3 teams to get their climbing way up because uh, these tournaments are giving you a lot of lessons, let's say like that.
Yeah.
And if you're able to make the right conclusions after those online events, you may step really good on that LAN event. You may do really good damage, as I mentioned before when we were riding to the ESL Pro League. We had a lot of online events before, and it's all about to just stick together in a practice room when you have to do the same preparation to put the thing inside your head that it's the same game, it's the same models playing against you, but it's just teams who did a lot of research there before, who has a lot of experience and a lot of other stuff. And all you need to do is just come to the server and show what you're capable on, show what you did in your training before. And
Hmm.
I think that's it. So that's the first step to get into tier 2. I think it's when you start to visit these lands more often than before, but the first step is always events like CCT, in my opinion, and
Yeah.
let's say some online qualifiers, because online qualifiers most of the time are best of one roulette, like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
No one knows who might win. Astralis lost in the previous major, if I'm not mistaken. They lost two or three online qualifiers.
Yeah, they had to make
It's
it through
like
like the fourth eventually.
Los Cogutos. They lost to Los
Yeah.
Cogutos. But where is Los
Right.
Cogutos now? They're not here. They're not on the. No one's seeing them. But those teams were able to beat Astralis back 1 year ago. So best of one roulette is the thing that make people in Counter Strike are really still. It's forging the steel. Let's say
Yeah.
it's really hard. Trust me, it's really hard. That's it, I think.
Yeah, yeah, no, I believe I've seen it one too many times to not believe you, that's for sure. Now I kind of want to talk a little bit about your preparation here for this online final here. Are you doing anything, to get ready for this event here where, it's kind of a qualifier in a sense for the global final?
Yes, so let's say about our schedule first because the preparation are always depends on schedule. So once you arrive to the LAN, I will just say it as reference. Once you arrive to the LAN, you have all time in the world to prepare for your game if you're not mixing two tournaments in the same time and doing that on LAN is suicide. Actually, we did it one time when we had the Rebel Qual, but
Yeah.
let's never mind. So in this particular case, we will have ESL Challenger as well for our team and one more tournament probably. So we will get back to our old way to prepare is to have like half an hour of analyst for each teammate. After that, coach combine it together and saying what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, and we will try to practice, and we will do it. Eventually, we will do it on the prac before the game. So that's the case. You just see what enemy do, what you are used to do, and you combine it together and use it on prac on your own peak before the game. Uh, I think it's about 3 hours of preparation for each map. as I mentioned, half hour of research,
Yeah.
half hour of warm up, 1 hour is prac, and the other time, as I mentioned, I had some extra time. You're in PC. You may be going to deathmatch or aimbots, or maybe you're doing the rewatch of major, whatever. Like you,
Yeah.
you have some time to play. I mean, each gamer is always like to sit at PC. Actually, in my experience, maybe some pro players doesn't do that
Mhm.
much, but I think all do. And yeah, that's the first preparation for online events like this one. Just you do the same job every time, and
Yeah.
that leads you to maybe some stability. But it's the thing we're missing now. I mean, we're not stable as a team. But
Yeah, it's all in routine.
more will come.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's all the routine that you have to get prepared there, but I really want to thank you for your time, of course, Jerry. Again, always great insight from you, and I wish you the best of luck in these online finals.
Thank you, thank you. So we're good, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.